Did you know that the worst part of a relationship is not even betrayal? It's habit. The habit of tolerating those who don't appreciate you, who take advantage of your kindness, your time, your resources for years, and in return, give you only indifference or even ridicule. I've been through this myself. There were people I considered friends, who I helped, supported, and suddenly realized I was just a convenient option for them. Today, we'll discuss 7 tough but effective methods for dealing with those who don't appreciate you. This is not just theory. These are strategies that truly work in a reality, where a simple thank you is often forgotten, and kindness is taken as a given. We live in a society where enduring is considered a virtue. Don't harbor resentment. Forgive, he's a good person. Well, you need to get by somehow. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? But here's the problem. The more we endure, the less we are respected. And this is not just my opinion. Carl Jung said, "What you are not aware of controls your life. And if for years you ignore your feeling of being undervalued, this is not humility, it's self-deception. And sooner or later it manifests as grievances, depression, or even illness." So let's discuss all the methods and strategies to deal with those who don't appreciate you and significantly improve your life. The first step is both the simplest and the hardest at the same time. Simply stop being available. This method is called no contact. Stop giving them bonuses. Cease doing what makes you convenient. Withdraw offers of help, gifts, and emotional support. Often people start to appreciate you only when they lose familiar privileges. Don't text them first. Don't call them just like that. And naturally, don't offer them help unless they ask for it. Proven. 80% of such people won't even notice your absence. And those who do will start behaving differently. Take back your convenience. If you've been used as a free taxi, just say, "Sorry, I won't be able to today." No explanations. If you were emotionally used as a shoulder to cry on, stop being their unpaid therapist. They only call when they need something. Now, you should always be busy. And as I mentioned, 80% of these people won't even notice you're gone. They'll simply find another convenient person. And this is an excellent filter. Now you know for sure who didn't appreciate you. And about 20% are those who will ask, "What happened? You disappeared?" These are the ones you can work with. Perhaps they will start respecting you. The matter is, people appreciate only what they can lose. As long as you are always available, you are like invisible yet necessary air to them. As soon as you disappear, they either gasp for air and begin to appreciate you, or they find another source of air. Then there's nothing to regret. And if it might seem to you that this is some kind of manipulation of people, it's not. It's setting boundaries. If someone truly values you, they will notice your absence. And if not, well, it means you've just made space for those who will truly appreciate you. The second method or step for dealing with those who don't appreciate you is to compare their behavior with others. Let's conduct a simple experiment. Recall how this person communicates with those he truly respects. Is he polite, attentive, always in touch with his boss? Smiling and engaging in conversation with the right people, never late. But with you, he responds monosyllabically, forgets about things important to you. Now, ask yourself one question. Would my friend or partner behave like that with someone they respect? If the answer is no, then it's not your fault, but their choice. You are not too demanding. They consciously choose how to treat you. Why does this method work? It's simple. You stop deceiving yourself. Earlier, you might have justified it. Well, he's just like that. Maybe I did something wrong. Now you see the truth. He behaves differently with others, which means he can but doesn't want to with you. You apply cold calculation instead of emotions. Painful, isn't it? But now you have facts, not guesses. As Jung said, what is not realized directs us. What is realized is already under our control. Just stop expecting such people to change. If a person can be attentive but doesn't do it for you, it's a conscious choice. Start directing your energy towards those who reciprocate. In Russia, there's often the saying, better a bird in the hand than a crane in the sky. But if the bird is someone who doesn't value you, maybe it's better to let go and seek out those who will genuinely appreciate you. I once thought, maybe just a little more, and they'll see how important I am to them. But then I saw how these same people literally transformed around those who were better than them. And then it dawned on me. It's not that I'm not good enough for them. It's that they are not good enough for me. Since then, I've been following a simple rule. If someone puts you last in their life, don't place them even in a small part of yours. Have you ever noticed how differently people behave towards you compared to others? Right, let's discuss. I'd be glad to know your story. The third method on our list is the silent departure method. Distance yourself without words. And you know what's most strange? The more we try to explain to people that they hurt us, the less they understand. They either don't believe it, oh come on, you imagined it, or they get angry. Are you offended? You're being overly sensitive, or they pretend to understand, but a week later, it repeats. So, now I'll tell you about the most powerful, yet quiet way to let someone know they're losing you. Without quarrels, without endless, let's talk. Just start disappearing. Suppose before you used to write first. How are you? Now wait for them to write you. You used to suggest meeting up. Now let them do it. You used to keep the conversation going. Now respond briefly, but politely. You stop being an emotional donor. Someone complains about their life. Quickly change the subject. They want your advice. You say, I'm not the best advisor on this issue. They expect you to entertain them. You say, sorry, I'm not in the mood to chat right now. And if you are really needed, they will start seeking contact. If not, they won't even notice your absence. And believe me, it's better than a banal relationship showdown. In our countries, there's a bad habit. If a person is offended, they must explain why. They even like to shame you when they realize they are at fault, saying, water runs on those who are offended. But don't listen to them. Think, does someone who hasn't valued you for years really understand you after one conversation? Did they not know they were ignoring your feelings? They knew. It was simply convenient for them. Silence is not weakness. It's a test. Can they live without your attention? Can you live without their indifference? I'll let you in on a secret. Of course you can. Don't be afraid. I had a friend, 14 years of friendship. I was always the one asking first how he was doing. I'd wish happy birthday first. I suggested meeting first. One day I decided, enough, and stopped writing. A month passed, then 2, then a year. Yet he never wrote back. And then I realized it wasn't friendship. It was my illusion, and in reality, I was simply forgotten and not once remembered. What to do if they still ask, why did you disappear? Don't justify yourself. Don't say, I was busy. This gives them the impression you are still hooked. Better to respond, it just happened, and change the topic. Evaluate their reaction. If a person is genuinely concerned, maybe it's worth giving them a chance. If they vanish after your reply, it means they were just curious, not concerned. Carl Jung talked about how loneliness is not the absence of people around, it's a lack of understanding. And if after your silent departure, they weren't afraid of losing you, then they had already emotionally exited your life long ago. Now, you have a choice. To keep chasing after them, or finally turn to those who are coming towards you. The fourth method is the mirror method. Start treating people the same way they treat you. Not rudely, just reflectively. They don't write to you. You don't write to them. They show no interest in your life. You show no interest in theirs. Imagine every person is a mirror. He reflects exactly what you show him. If you endure his indifference for years, there's nothing to be surprised about. He simply got used to taking you for granted. Today, we'll turn that around. You will become his reflection. How does it work? It's simple. You stop giving more than you receive. He writes to you once a month. You respond just as rarely. He forgets to ask about your well-being. You don't ask either. He cancels meetings at the last moment. Now, you suddenly have plans. You stop being convenient. Before you adjusted to his schedule. Now only if it's convenient for you. Before you overlooked rudeness. Now sorry, but that's not how you talk to me. You let him feel how it is. People quickly grasp the rules of the game when put in your place. Why is this more effective than just staying silent? In our countries, there's a saying, you reap what you sow. But many forget it works both ways. If a person doesn't call you, they don't consider you important. If they don't thank you, they take your help for granted. If they don't support you in tough times, they're only interested in their gain. The mirror simply shows him the truth. I had an acquaintance. We communicated for years. I always asked how she was doing, supported, helped, and she responded when it was convenient for her. One day I decided, fine, now I'll respond to her as she does to me. She didn't notice for the first month, wrote more often in the second, and by the third month asked, "Why have you become so cold?" I replied, "I'm just behaving the same way you do." She was offended at first, then thought about it, and 6 months later started calling first. Not always, of course, but much more frequently than before, because the mirror doesn't lie. It simply shows a person himself. But if, upon seeing their reflection, a person doesn't want to change, that's their choice. Your choice is to stop wasting energy on them. Don't get angry. Don't feel guilty. You might be accused. You've become different. Just reply, "No, I've just stopped being what you've used to exploit." If the mirror doesn't work, it means this person is incapable of seeing themselves from the outside. And that means they will never change. Jung said, "We encounter in others what is within us." But it works the other way too. If a person sees you as a friend, they will act like a friend. If they see you as a convenient person, they'll use you. Become a mirror, and you'll see who you really are to them. Personally, this method works for me consistently, for many years now. Have you ever used this method in life? Did it work? Let's discuss. The fifth method that will help you is the substitution method. Simply replace your need to please with mutuality. Stop investing in those who don't reciprocate. Stop spending your energy, time, and emotions on those who take your kindness for granted. Instead, direct your energy towards people who value you without manipulation. If a person doesn't reciprocate, that's not your mistake, but their choice. But it is your choice to continue one-sided relationships. Instead of pleasing those who don't appreciate it, focus on the principle of mutuality. Invest only in those who are ready to invest in you. This is not selfishness, it's wisdom. Ask yourself, does this person often take the initiative? Does he remember your needs as much as you do his? Have you become a convenient person being used? Those who take but don't give, gently move them to the periphery of your life and redirect the freed-up time and energy to people who rejoice in your success, to activities that bring you joy, to yourself, because you deserve care just as much as others do. Don't explain or justify yourself. You are not obligated to tell someone you've stopped investing. Just act. Become slightly less available. Stop initiating meetings or help first. If they ask for something, sometimes say no, without guilt, and watch their reaction. True relationships will reveal themselves. If someone notices changes and asks what's happened, it's a chance for an honest conversation. If they disappear or get offended, it means they valued you only for what you gave. Understand, one-sided relationships are draining. They're like a black hole. The more you give, the more is expected from you. Mutuality, however, creates healthy connections where there's respect, gratitude, and genuine happiness for each other. You know, Carl Jung once said, "The most frightening trap for a person is their unconscious bonds." Have you ever noticed how often we cling to people who stopped valuing us long ago? We endure their coldness, justify their indifference, all because we're afraid to face the truth. If someone doesn't reciprocate, it means you are not needed by them. Jung called it the shadow of relationships, where one gives and the other only takes. And you know what's most dangerous? The longer you allow this, the deeper your soul begins to believe you are not worthy of more. But here's the truth. Your value does not depend on those who fail to see it. I repeat, as a psychologist with experience, if you are not appreciated, it's not your heart's fault, but the other person's blindness. Jung offered a simple algorithm. Realize, does this person truly not value me? Or is it just my imagination? Write down 3 examples. Talk, but not with resentment, but with observation. I noticed that my efforts go unanswered. Why is that? Act. If nothing changes after a conversation, step away. Not with anger, with dignity. Yes, it's painful, but the pain of parting is nothing compared to years of quiet humiliation. And even if you lose a friend, well, what of it? Jung would say, "You're not losing a friend. You are freeing up space for those who will come seriously." Remember, the world is full of people who won't understand you, and that's normal, won't appreciate you, and it's their right. But there will also be those who see the sun in you, and they are worth living for. As Jung said, the best thing you can do for those who don't appreciate you is to stop being a part of their life, and for yourself, start a new chapter. The next method is the open conversation method. Speak openly with the person about the problem, directly to their face. For instance, if you notice that your efforts go unnoticed, and it's important for you to change that, and if the person doesn't respond, it's a signal for action from point 3. Imagine a situation. For months, you've been helping a neighbor fix his car or sign documents, but when you need help, he suddenly becomes very busy. Familiar, right? In our areas, I'm talking about Russia and the former USSR. It's often like that. We silently harbor grievances because it feels awkward to speak up directly, and then we explode over trivial things, or vent at home on family. I've been through this myself, endured it for years, and then simply stopped associating with people who didn't appreciate me. Because there's a better way, an honest conversation. Tell the person directly, without vague phrases, right to their face. Let's do it this way. If you really don't want to help, just say so honestly, as it turns out that I'm always available, but you're not. After this, there will be about 3 scenarios among relatively normal people. First, the person will apologize and make amends. It means he simply didn't notice the problem. Such people are worth keeping in your life. Second, they start making excuses. Really? That's a red flag. Third, they don't understand at all or blame you. Then confidently apply method number 3, distance. Remember how Carl Jung said, "What is not realized controls us." As long as you stay silent, the situation will repeat again and again. From my experience, I can say, when I began speaking directly, without aggression, yet without servility, about 50% of people truly started treating me better. The rest, well, it's their choice. The main thing is, don't be afraid. In our countries, there is often the belief that we must endure. But patience does not mean silence. It's possible and necessary to speak about what concerns you. That's the only way to build healthy relationships. And if nothing changes after an open conversation, then proceed much more rigidly. But more about this in a separate future video. The next method that will certainly help you is leaving without regrets. In any case, there will come a time when you must take the hardest, yet most liberating step. Just leave. I remember how years I held on to relationships where I was taken for granted. Like many, I thought maybe if I endure a little longer, the person might change. And these thoughts plagued me until one day I realized nothing changes. Even after honest conversations and attempts to establish contact, the person remains the same. This means only one thing. That's what he wants. In our reality, especially in CIS countries, we've all gotten used to some incomprehensible sacrifice. Endure for the sake of the relationship. Always forgive. Who, if not you? But Carl Jung said something wise. Where there is no reciprocity, there is no genuine connection. There's only habit and dependence. And to simply leave, you need to know how to do it right. Without dramatic scenes, you've already said everything in an open conversation. Without guilt, you gave the person every chance. With gratitude, even negative experiences have taught something. You know, I've left such relationships more than once. And you know what's most amazing? New people quickly took the open space. Those who appreciated my time and kindness from the first day. Imagine your life as a book. Some characters appear on just one page. Others linger for a whole chapter. But only you decide who stays until the last page. Don't be afraid to turn the page, friends. Believe me, new chapters always turn out much more interesting than the old ones that should have ended long ago. If you are now afraid to take this step, just imagine yourself a year from now. How will you remember this moment? With bitter regret that you didn't leave sooner, or with light relief that you finally broke free? Choose wisely. You genuinely deserve better. There is this ancient truth that never loses its relevance. How you treat yourself, so others will treat you. You don't have to be convenient for everyone. You don't have to endure those who don't notice you. And you definitely shouldn't justify their behavior. Try these methods not for revenge, but for yourself. To finally feel your time, your emotions, your life. All of this is truly valuable. How do you deal with those who don't appreciate you? Right. Let's discuss together. If this video was helpful, like and share it with those who need it. It will help others change their lives for the better. I hope you don't miss my new videos on self-analysis, relationship psychology, and philosophy. See you in future videos.